Hi and welcome back to the next video. In this video, we're gonna take this guitar right here. Can you see it? It's right there. And we're gonna paint it. Master wants an orange guitar, so I have some orange paint right here. It's gonna be great. Now, he doesn't want the skulls and the fingers on the guitar. I'll show you. Those parts. He doesn't want those to be orange. And obviously I could repaint afterwards, but it's actually much easier to just mask it off. But we want a little bit of fading in and things like that. So we're gonna take some paper and we're gonna do a little bit of just matching up so that we can cover most of it. Because when we go to paint with the spray can, we're going to move in all different sorts of angles. Had this been just a burst thing or something like that, we wouldn't need to make a template. And if you want a video on burst, I have an old build where I do a burst, but I could also make a video just showing you a burst. But then you'll have to ask for it. So keep that in mind and talk to me in the comments below if that's something that you sorry, if that's something you want to see. Maybe let's get a closer look and see what we're doing before we've done it. Help me! So here's the guitar now, and if we look maybe a little bit less than half a paper, so something like that. We can just fold it, hold it up, yeah, something like that. Let's see if we can rip this down the fold, something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see, something like that. Maybe something like there. If you fold paper over on itself a couple of times and you pull with your nails like this, you fold it a little bit harder, and so it becomes easy to rip down. And depending on how many times you do that, the easier it gets to be. So, something like that, and then I'm gonna cut here, somewhere like that. And then if we fold this like so, we get a little fold. So, a little bit of tape. Just a bit like so. And we tape it shut. And we've made a little cone. Hope you can see, it's like a little cone. It's not something special. Now I'm just gonna take another piece of tape and I'm gonna fold it on top of itself to make a little double-sided tape thing. I don't want to use actual double-sided tape, because if I do, it might actually become a little bit problematic. I just want it to hold down like this, because when we spray, we're gonna get a little spray up on the skull, and it's gonna be good. 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 All right. So let's take a look here. We have this skull here. We have a little bit of the neck bones, the vertebrae right there. You see them? You see them? And we have a skull there. Now, some of these, I think I might want a little bit of the orange on. So I'm thinking maybe just cutting this like a V of some sort, something like that. Fold it a little bit like so. Take a bit of tape, and I think I might have taken a very small bit of tape. I need a bigger piece. Can't even get that. Get off! Get off me! Right. Yes. A little bit of tape. Just to hold this down, I'm going to put it there, I think. I'm going to try to avoid the neck. Something like that. And that tip there, I think I'm going to cut off. So, something like that. And I'll fold that in on there, like so. And stick that a bit of there, something like that. I'm gonna try to avoid this area, but we're gonna get a little bit of overspray, and it's gonna make sense. Basically, but wait until we start the thing, the paint, and yeah, just gonna cut a little circle like this and see, like that maybe, make it a little smaller. I'll be right back once I've covered all the parts that I want to cover, and I'll just show you it and explain, because sitting here like this is probably not that fun to watch. Hi! And hello there. You see, I've put the tape on. I've put the tape on the guitar, and yes, it's all over. And the idea is basically this: random bit of the nasty things popping through. Yes. So when I go over this area and I paint it, I hold the can, a bit away, and the paint will want to go everywhere, but in some areas it won't be able to. But because I've taped these off, it definitely won't go there, but it will go into these nooks and crannies and stuff like that. But the tape isn't particularly on there, it's sort of just blocking a little bit, so hopefully we won't get any sharp lines. And I'm gonna have to be spraying up here, shooting in different directions, and we might get some overspray here. So that's why I've covered the tops, because the tops are further out, and it's a cone shape that comes out of the can. I mean, it's almost invisible, but it's like a cone, which means if I hit the guitar right here, up here, which you can't see, but in this direction, it's a cone shape like this that goes. And so when I paint here, I might get some flying over here. So this will hopefully protect it. If it doesn't protect it completely, we can sand and remove it that way with some 1000 grit sandpaper. So hopefully we're okay. The next thing I have to do now, before we paint, is shake this can for about 3 to 4 minutes, get it a little bit warm as well, and then we'll just paint. So, yes, let's go outside and paint this guitar. Right, okay? Sounds good? Hi! Here it is now. We need to leave it to dry, and yes, all of that. But in the meanwhile, we can remove this. As long as we don't touch anything, we can sort of just do that. We can hold up here, obviously, of course, yes. But hopefully we have a little bit of something. I can see some places where I feel like maybe we need to sand it back a little bit. Here, for example, we can see that didn't turn out super good. But this hand, for example, did turn out as I wanted. There we go. Is there that thing there? The reason why I want to take it off immediately is because I don't want the tape to get somehow stuck, just some little bit, and rip. the primer with it when I take it off. But if I take it off immediately, it hasn't been on there for more than maybe somewhere between 5 or 10 minutes. It's going to be worse with this tape here. It might rip the fretboard off. That was obviously a joke. Let's continue. Hi. So, it's time to continue the painting. You know, put in a little bit of black and details and grime and all sorts of nastiness. So, let's do it. Alright, so here we have the guitar, and there's just a couple of spots where I feel like there's a little bit too much of the gold. Right here, for example, maybe you can see it went over the face a little bit too much in a way that doesn't look perfectly right. So let's just first take some sandpaper. I'm using 1200, and I'm just gonna lightly see if I can't sand it back a little bit. The guitar is primed, so it shouldn't be too difficult to sand off the paint and expose the primer. It's just a couple of spaces, really. It's not that much. So I'm just going to take some sandpaper like this and just see if I can't knock it back. Alright, so now we're going to take some stain. I have some stain here. It's a lacquer based stain, so there it will go together with the rest here. And it's black, and I'm just gonna try to flood a bunch of these areas like so. Get it into the nooks and crannies. This is called a wash, and it's something you will see a lot in, for example, prop making, which is where I got this from. So I'll slather some on all these areas. Give it a good thick coating. And then we'll leave this on for a bit. We'll see how long we have to leave it, because we don't want to leave it too long, obviously. We don't want to permanently stain places where we don't want this. And I'm going to take the top in one go, because as you can probably tell from the side there, I did have a little of it running away from me. So I'll go down to something like that. I think I've slathered it everywhere now. Just move around into the nooks and crannies. A little bit more here on the fingers. There's a lot of detail here that I want to capture from the sculpting that I did, so that Master will be happy. I mean, no. Yes. Anyway, something like this for now. Then we need to get some tissue. I'm gonna wash the pencil later. Here we have the tissue I'm gonna use. This is, you know, a finer cloth, so it has a bit of it's not paper, it's made from another material, but you can use regular paper as well. It's just that it might get a bit everywhere, as you can see. And this is not going as I had planned. For some reason, this is... I'm gonna get some naphtha, I think that's the only solution. Let's see if we can save this before it's too late. Oh, I really should have gone more easy on it. I might have to repaint this. That's a shame. I don't understand why. There's always something going wrong. I should have used something else. Might have to do a little bit of paint work on this, and it's coming along. It looks a little messy, but I'm getting the fingers to look nice at least, and the bone parts. But there is a little bit of a. The ghost looks kind of haunting in their own way, I suppose. I might need to come back to it and do a bit of touch-up work with the paint. Part of the sculpture fell off. There's always something not going exactly as you wanted, but I feel like this looks kind of creepy anyway. So you can see here how I'm like basically getting a really detailed paint job by just throwing around a bunch of color and that and all of that. I'm gonna see if I can't wash it off a little bit. So I'll be right back. See you in a bit. Let's add some tones of brown to it to just give it a little bit extra dimension and make it fit in together with the rest of the guitar a little bit more. Just a little bit. A very slight bit of browning will just make everything flow together a little bit more. We used some black to create some contrast, and by smearing it around and moving it about, and we can actually create a bit of highlights as well in just certain areas, on the bone and on some of these teeth, and maybe on this jaw here. We'll see. And we have to be somewhat quick. As you can see, I repainted the guitar a little bit. I went out and I did a bit of a spray, and I just feel like I managed to get everything to a good place where I'm happy with it, and I don't want to have to redo that work again. So this time, instead of doing what I did, which I didn't, do a mistake, but I made a mistake, but I wasn't wrong in what I did. But what I did wrong was I should have taken smaller bits, and I should have worked a bit faster. So just put on a little bit of color and wipe it off basically immediately, because it's gonna do its thing, and it's gonna do it pretty immediately. So you see how I'm able to create like a little bit of highlights pretty quickly by just brushing it quickly like that. I think that's gonna be good. Soak that up in there to not leave something. And by not going into the crevices, I'm leaving them dark, but also by adding a little bit of different colors, I'm creating different textures, so that there's multiple things to look at. Kind of like that right there, for example. I think that looks kind of cool with a little bit more reddish. I'm gonna go around here as well and just get it into those nooks. Instead of trying to hide them, I can just quickly and gently just smear it out. Now it's like a tiny bit darker right there. Basically just make everything look a little, and I go over the pumpkins a little bit with this darker stain, and it will seep into those crevices and make it just look a little, there's just a little bit of 3D effect to them. You see how it fills in the cracks and softens everything up a little. Alright, so now we're going to do one small little detail, and that is, I have a spray can here with some red paint. I'm going to spray some of it in the lid. And now I can paint with that paint, and it will work with the others. This pumpkin here, it has something that the other ones don't have, and that is a nose. And this nose is supposed to be a little chili fruit, because my master really likes the hot stuff. So I'm giving it a little bit of a dab of red spray paint, and here we go. It's one of those little details that really matters. Don't tell anyone. It's between the two of us. Right! So here you have it. The body. It's all done now. All I need to do is put down a couple of layers of clear coat to protect and seal everything in. And then we're finally ready to do the hardware and the electronics setup and making a nut, and I feel like we're about halfway there. We're about halfway there. Anyway, I'm gonna go and just put on some clear coats. I'll just hold the body like this, go over the can like this. You've seen it before, I've done it before. And then I'll just hang that there. Then I'll just hang it to dry and we'll come back for the next video. Right, yes. So I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope if you're new here you're gonna subscribe and all of that. Yes, and yeah, I'm gonna go do this now, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the comments below, or hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, don't forget to stay awesome.